Welcome to Azure Fundamentals, AZ-900, Exam Practice Test. Our topic today is practice test number 4. Use the link in the description to download the app on the App Store for free practice tests. Number 1. Your company plans to request an architectural review of an Azure environment from Microsoft. The company currently has a basic support plan. You need to recommend a new support plan for the company. The solution must minimize costs. Which support plan should you recommend? A. Premier. B. Developer. C. Professional Direct. D. Standard. The correct answer is A. Premier. Number 2. Review the underlined text. If it makes the statement correct, select No change is needed. If the statement is incorrect, select the answer choice that makes the statement correct. Your Azure trial account expired last week. You are now unable to create additional Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, user accounts. A. Start an existing Azure virtual machine. B. Access your data stored in Azure. C. Access the Azure portal. D. No change is needed. The correct answer is B. Access your data stored in Azure. Number 3. Your company has 10 departments. The company plans to implement an Azure environment. You need to ensure that each department can use a different payment option for the Azure services it consumes. What should you create for each department? A. A reservation. B. A resource group. C. A container instance. D. A subscription. The correct answer is D. A subscription. Number 4. Which statement is not true about an Azure free account? A. It can contain an unlimited number of web apps. B. It has a spending limit. C. It has a limit for the amount of data that can be uploaded to Azure. D. All of these are true. The correct answer is A. It can contain an unlimited number of web apps. Explanation: Azure free account has a limit of 10 web, mobile, or API apps. Number 5. You plan to provision infrastructure as a service, IaaS, resources in Azure. Which resource is an example of infrastructure as a service? A. An Azure web app. B. An Azure virtual machine. C. An Azure Logic app. D. An Azure SQL database. The correct answer is B. An Azure virtual machine. Number 6. Your company plans to deploy several custom applications to Azure. The applications will provide invoicing services to the customers of the company. Each application will have several prerequisite applications and services installed. You need to recommend a cloud deployment solution for all the applications. What should you recommend? A. Software as a service. B. Platform as a service. C. Infrastructure as a service. D. All of these. The correct answer is C. Infrastructure as a service. Number 7. Which service provides serverless computing in Azure? A. Azure Virtual Machines. B. Azure Storage Account. C. Azure Container Instances. D. Azure Functions. The correct answer is D. Azure Functions. Number 8. A company has the requirement to have an automated process in place which would upload logs to an Azure SQL database every week. Reports would then be generated from the SQL database. Which of the following would you use for this requirement? A. Azure Data Factory. B. The ASCII tool. C. Azure HD Insight. D. Data Migration Assistant. The correct answer is A. Azure Data Factory. Number 9. Our team needs to deploy a virtual machine that will host a SQL server. The virtual machine will have two data disks, one for the log file and the other for the data files. You need to recommend a caching policy for each disk. Which of the following would you recommend for the data disk containing the logs? A. Read only. B. Write only. C. Read write. D. Nothing. The correct answer is D. Nothing. Number 10. Review the underlined text. If it makes the statement correct, select no change is needed. If the statement is incorrect, select the answer choice that makes the statement correct. The Microsoft Online Services privacy statement explains what data Microsoft processes, how Microsoft processes the data, and the purpose of processing the data. A. Microsoft Online Services terms. B. Microsoft Online Service Level Agreement. C. Online Subscription Agreement for Microsoft Azure. D. No change is needed. The correct answer is D. No change is needed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for updated videos every week.